something, pick a different route. If you're gonna make that change, there's no better time than now. Be boundless. First I gotta get up off this futon, get my bags packed tight, put my shoes on.
Hey guys, how you doing today? This is Ryan, just hanging out at my apartment here in Bangkok, Thailand. Today is Sunday, July 10th, 2016. And it's kind of overcast today, kind of nice here. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. This is my balcony out here. And we got the pool down there. And as you can see, it's just a little overcast today. Looking at, you know, I got this view of this part of the city at least. So yeah guys, I want to tell you a little story. And by the way, this footage is of me driving down a highway. I was going to the Emerald Hotel to actually eat at a Chinese, not a Chinese buffet, a Japanese buffet. And oh my god, it was like, okay, and I'm telling you from experience, you know, living in Japan 16 years, this buffet was the quality of Japan, if not better. It was at the Emerald Hotel. I'll put a map link on there because I can't recall where it was right now. But here I am heading over there, and it's just a scene of the city. But I just want to tell you guys a little story. And this is why this story is significant. Okay, so basically when I was 29 actually, I had been living in Japan for 5 years at that point. And I decided I wanted to move to Thailand. So I came to Thailand, you know, did the same thing. Got all my stuff down to like two suitcases, 1 or 2 suitcases. And I came to Bangkok. And, well, I ended up staying for 2.5 months. After 2.5 months, I just got burnt out. You know, I don't know what it was. Bangkok didn't work for me. It was just the traffic stressed me out, the noise, and I didn't want to work as an English teacher at that time. Also at that time I didn't have much money. You know, I think I only brought like $5,000 with me. So it wasn't really thought out well financially. But that's not what, you know, that's not what caused me to leave Bangkok or Thailand at that time. It was really actually the city, Bangkok. It was the noise and the congestion and just the chaoticness. So yeah, after 2.5 months I left and I went back to America. But I'll continue that story in another video. So today is significant because, well actually July 1st was significant because that marks 3 months that I've been in Thailand. So I managed to stay here longer than my first attempt to live in Thailand, and now I have a completely different outlook. I'm just more comfortable this time. I still don't care for Bangkok that much, but actually I have an announcement that I'm going to make at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I've made it past my original, you know, when I first came here when I was 29. I've been here longer than that time, so I consider that a success. And I'm really loving Thailand this time around. I mean, I loved it then too, but I just didn't like Bangkok. But I just feel no need to go back to Japan, at least to live there and work, maybe to visit perhaps, but I'm completely happy with my decision. Anyways guys, I want to talk about my living expenses, and I'm going to break that down for you and show you what my living expenses have been for my first 3 months here in Thailand. I'm going to break it down into a couple of periods. So the first period was when I first got here, and I wasn't really settled here. I didn't have an apartment, I didn't have a routine, so that was the first 17 days of my time here in Thailand. So from April 1st to April 17th I was in a hotel, and I was just getting acclimated and learning how everything worked, and I didn't have a routine, so my expenses were kind of high for that first 17 days. I'm going to break that down, and then my month periods and also my contract period for this apartment here comes at the half month. So my contract at this apartment started on April 17th and it'll end on July 17th. So my month goes from the 17th of the month to the 17th of the next month. So that's how I'm breaking it down. And I have the living expenses for the first 2 months of that. So from mid-April to mid-May and mid-May to mid-June. So let's get into it. So when I was in Japan planning this all out, I didn't know where to stay in Bangkok. I didn't know anything about renting apartments in Thailand. I just picked a place on the map and pretty much found a hotel there. Well, what I did was I tried to find an inexpensive hotel because I didn't know how long I would be living in a hotel until I found an apartment. So I tried to find an inexpensive place, not a backpacker's place, not like they have these things where you share a room with other people. I was like, F that, I didn't want to do that. I wanted my own room, quiet place. So I found a place on agoda.com. It wasn't that quiet actually, but it was a place to just rest and center myself after searching for apartments every day. So I found that place. It was 590 baht a night. And like I said, I didn't know how long I'd have to be in a hotel until I found an apartment. So I ended up, I thought, you know, like I'll find a place in the first week, but the thing is like I had all these conditions. Like I wanted to find an apartment that was near a gym, and I wanted to find an apartment that was near a park or a place where there's nature, where I could go on walks. And what else? I wanted to find an apartment in a place that wasn't a tourist area. So I had all these conditions, and when I got to Bangkok, I realized that it's a really spread out city. So after looking in several different areas, I finally just decided to stay in the On Nut area where I live now. It didn't meet the requirement that it has a park or a nice place to walk here. There's no there's no parks around here. But I am near a nice gym, and it's not a really touristy area, so it did meet those requirements. And I actually am glad that I ended up living here because it's a local area, and it's a little bit less expensive than the downtown, than the center of Bangkok, but it's still easy to get over to that area. Okay guys, so let's delve right into this. So I found a hotel near BTS On Nut. It was 590 baht a night, and I ended up staying there for 17 nights. Now originally I thought, okay, I'll find an apartment within the first week, but it didn't. It took a lot longer. It took about 2.5 weeks. So this is these expenses show the first 17 days of my life here in Thailand, and they're not the norm. I mean, I paid $285 for that hotel for the first 17 nights. Food was about $80, transportation $42, just things, the stuff, that was $11. So my first 2.5 weeks, I ended up spending $419. Now let's get to like the more standard, like how much does it really cost to live in Thailand. I want you guys to keep in mind that I'm not living like a king here, okay? Just to put it straight. But like, I don't need to live like a king. I mean, I'm used to living in Asia. When I lived in Japan, I kind of lived about the same standards. Yeah, I lived in a small place. I just kind of bought what I needed, but not more than I needed. So I'm living the same standard of living. So here we go into my first month in Thailand. I found a place to live. It was 6,000 baht a month, and that works out to $170 a month. My food ended up being $174 for the month, and I eat all my meals out. I don't cook here. Transportation, $28. For things, now this was a little expensive this month because I was just getting started up, and that was $279. I made a list of some stuff that I bought when I first moved into this apartment. For example, I got a mattress pad. I got internet from my smartphone. I had to get a USB adapter, sheets, pillows, a fan. Oh, and this was expensive. The 3-month gym membership that ended up costing me 5,000 baht. Okay, so the total for my first month living in Bangkok came out to $651. All right, and then moving on to the second month, which I think the second month here is a little more realistic about the cost of living. So my rent is the same, of course, that's $6,000 baht a month. Food, $146 for the month. Transportation, $35. Stuff, $20, and that included medicine, a haircut, and some tape, and maybe some other trinkets. Okay, so then I started paying bills because my bills are coming in from last month. Water, really cheap, only $2.56 for the month. Electricity, $23, and my internet, a little bit expensive for Thailand, I think, $28. Unfortunately, in this room, I couldn't get the cheap internet. This is actually a condo, not an apartment, so, and it was just out of signal reach of a service that I could have used, and I would only have had to pay 100 baht a month, like 350, or just a little under $3 a month for internet. But I was just a little out of reach for that signal, even though I bought the signal booster. So my expenses for my second month in Thailand were $424 for the month. And then here's just some notes. I'm not paying any health insurance. I do have health insurance. If something happens, I am covered. I don't want to go into any more details about that, but I'm okay there, but I just didn't have to pay any money for that. And then for my visa run, I had to do one visa run to Cambodia at the end of 60 days here in Thailand. And I had my expenses covered for that. So yeah, guys, I worked it out, and for the 79 days of expenses that I calculated, I'm spending about $19 a day to live here. But I think that's going to go down as I continue living here, as as my costs stabilize, like my rent and transportation and food, and I get into a routine. Alright guys, and lastly I wanted to show you this little simple chart I made here, just comparing the expenses of life in Thailand versus Japan. I chose one of the lowest expenses month I had in Japan. I tracked my living expenses in Japan too. I chose one of my cheapest months in Japan, and that month was $1,104. And I'm comparing it to the second month I lived here in Thailand. So as you can see, the rent is significantly cheaper. Same size apartment. Actually, the apartment here in Thailand is much nicer. Probably had the same size apartment in Japan, but they tried to fit like 3 or 4 rooms in it. Japanese people are freaking sick, like they're mentally sick when it comes to designing houses and apartments. It was just totally uncomfortable. But here you get one big nice room, really nice laid out, half the price. So that's the deal with rent. Food, as you can see, 3-4 times cheaper than Japan, and I love it here. The food is great. I eat good. I eat out. I never have to cook. I can pick up dinner for $2-3 and I get the best food in the world. Transportation, this is a lot cheaper too. I will give Japan credit. They have a great transportation system, a great public transportation system. You can go almost anywhere by buses and trains. I also had a bicycle, which really helped out. I think my transportation expenses were a little higher in Japan because I was commuting to work daily. As for things, it's about the same. I really don't buy much, no matter where I'm at. Water, significantly cheaper in Thailand, only $2, whereas in Japan, $20. Electricity, about the same. That kind of surprised me. And internet. Yeah, my internet here is expensive. I had to get kind of if my Wi-Fi was able to reach just a little bit farther, I would have been able to get internet for about $3 a month. So that's why I had to have them come and cable in the internet. So that's why I'm paying $28 a month. And gas, yeah, no gas in my apartment here. In Thailand, in Japan, it was quite expensive. You can see it was $46 there. So as you can see, my total living costs are about half as much as they were in Japan, but I'm living the same standard. Okay guys, the news I wanted to let you know is that at the end of this week, this coming weekend, I'm going to be moving out of Bangkok. You know, I actually got used to life in Bangkok, and kind of like it. I kind of like it. It's really crowded here and super chaotic. So I just need to go to a place where it's a little less hectic. I got some nature, maybe a beach I can be near, and you know, the kind of place where you can just like put on a tank top, shorts and your thongs and just chill and just walk out like that and, you know, live the life, man. So I'm moving there. I'm getting in that direction. I'm not gonna say exactly where I'm moving to quite yet. I think I'm just gonna make a few videos and you guys can figure that all out. So guys, that's my big update. I'm gonna be moving soon and I'm looking forward to it. Get to explore a new part of Thailand. And you know, when I decided to leave Japan, I knew that it was going to be a big hit to my channel, because I knew that a lot of people subscribed to my channel because they wanted Japan related content. And it got to a point in my heart where I could not continue anymore. So I expected to have a huge drop in subs, but you know, yeah, I think I lost a few hundred subs, but it wasn't as much as I thought, you know. So, and then my videos now are still getting the same amount of views, so I'm really happy about that, and I really appreciate all you guys who have stuck with me. And it's not just about Japan for you. You really get that, you know, you're following me on a journey here. So I just want to say thanks to everybody who watches and supports the channel. And guys, now I'm heading for 30,000 subs. That's my next kind of goal for my channel. So I want you to write down in the comment section below what you'd like me to do when we hit 30,000 subs. What kind of video would you like me to make, or what would you like to see on camera from Ryan Boundless? Alright guys, as always, thanks for watching. Peace out. Love y'all. Laters.
Better do something, pick a different route. If you're gonna make that change, there's no better time than now. Be boundless. Take a step outside, stretch my arms out wide, like I'm on the Titanic. I won't sink as long as I'm on this wing. So why panic? Time is like sand and it's slipping out of my hand.